Okay, folks, here's a quick review of the Clone Trooper figure that was produced by Hasbro as part of the Star Wars Vintage Collection line of products. I picked this up at Kmart for $9.99. When I first got the figure out of the blister pack, I was moderately impressed. This Clone Trooper has a very plain design with no colors on his armor to speak of. And in this instance, I think that's okay for this particular trooper, considering that for all intents and purposes, this particular trooper is just a grunt in the Army of the Republic. We saw plenty of these soldiers in various battles during Revenge of the Sith. The joints all worked fine on this figure right out of the package. I had no problem in moving the shoulders, elbows, wrists, hips, knees, or ankles. The hip joint movements are restricted by the armor pieces on his legs, right here and right there. Alright, the helmet on this figure is removable. Now, unlike the newer Shock Trooper and Clone Trooper Lieutenant figures in the Star Wars Vintage Collection, the helmet on this Clone Trooper has a slightly snugger fit. In my opinion, this could possibly lead to the paint apps on the head being rubbed off as time goes on, with his helmet being removed and replaced repeatedly. But I have to admit, I haven't had this figure long enough to observe if that's what will indeed occur as time goes forward. So what I'll do here is pause, zoom in, and give you a closer look as to what the figure looks like. Okay, and what I'll do is pop his helmet off here. Try to. And let's get a look at the face. Okay. Alright, the Clone Trooper came with only one accessory, so let me pan down and I'll show you what that is. The figure stand that you see him standing on was not included in the package. Okay, as you can see, the Clone Trooper came with a blaster pistol, which, according to what I've read, is known as the DC-17. It's very plain looking, with no appreciable detailing on it that I can see. He does hold this weapon well in either hand, but it would appear that the right hand seems to have a more pronounced trigger finger, so that's where I will continue to place it when I have him on my shelf. Alright, back to the figure itself. What I'll do now is a quick 360 of the Clone Trooper and let you see what he looks like from all sides. So overall, I don't think this is a bad figure. Yes, he's very plain looking, but as I mentioned previously, I feel that's to be expected with a grunt, for lack of a better term, in the Army of the Republic. The only complaints that I have with this figure are the slightly restricted posability in the hip area, and also with the helmet being as snug as it is. However, I do think he is an excellent army builder for a Star Wars clone army. So, in spite of my concerns, I think this figure merits a good recommendation, bordering on great. But that being said, I still think he's worthy of being picked up if you see him. Okay, so on that note, take care and stay tuned for my next review. Have a good one.